First up at UFC Vegas 88, we have Chad Anheliger taking on Charalampos. I have no idea why I said Charalampos. Charalampos Grigoriou to open up the card. Chad Anheliger, 3-2 in his last 5, 12-7 overall, but he is riding a very unfortunate 2-fight skid. He's taking on Charalampos Grigoriou, who is 8-3 overall, 4-2 in his last 5. He is riding a 4-fight win streak. And this fight, if I was breaking it down a year or two ago, would be sort of a different breakdown, a different outcome than breaking it down today, because we have seen a little bit more of Chad in the octagon. He is a powerful striker. He does have some solid BJJ if it gets to the ground. He sets a nice pace, and he hits incredibly hard. His takedown defense is just okay, but we have seen it fail him multiple times in the UFC. He can sweep off bottom. He does have a decent get-up game. If he ends up on top, he will tee off. He's got 4 fights in the UFC, but he's given up a total of 10 takedowns, including one in his last fight, which is a loss to Jose Johnson, where he had 4 of his own, but then he was submitted. He's taking on Charalampos Grigoriou. This guy's a powerful striker with heavy leg kicks. He absolutely will chop that tree down. He has won fights and can win fights with leg kicks alone. He can grapple as well with big takedowns, heavy top pressure. Overall, he's a solid prospect. He can win fights both on the feet and on the ground. He's coming off a Contender Series win over Cameron Smotherman to earn his UFC shot. And I mentioned, if this fight was a year ago, I actually might have leaned Anheliger here. But after seeing him just get taken down 10 times in the UFC and his takedown defense fail him in his last 2 fights, I've got to go Grigoriou. Not only is he a powerful striker and he can hang on the feet, but he also can grapple, can bail himself out of trouble with the wrestling. Pretty heavy favorite here, but I think minus 156. The odds are tightening a bit. I think he's going to look better and better as the week goes on, but I like Grigoriou here to get it done. And a lot of it, like I said, has to do with Chad's takedown defense. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I saw when I broke this fight down, I saw the minus 220, and I was like, yeah, it seems a little bit wide to me. So this line tightening, that definitely makes sense because Chad is a guy that is a very durable guy. Very durable guy. There we go.
I'm just kidding. All.
Here we go.
You mentioned you had to pack swim attire, and I just got all worked up.
Here comes the diarrhea sweats, the goosebumps.
Here we go.
Once those goosebumps start hitting, I know all about that. You know what I mean? You got wet wipes? You a wet wipe guy?
No, I'm not a wet wipe guy. And my neighbor's a big bidet guy, too. I'm not a bidet guy either.
Oh, bidet. I'm not a bidet guy. The first time I did a bidet was in Vegas a few years ago. And, you know, I sat there 45 minutes, and I thought eventually I would start.
I put it on power washing
I thought
mode,
eventually it would really start feeling good, but I was just sitting there. But I do love wet wipes. But Chad's a guy that is a durable guy. He does have wrestling and grappling in his own right. Angelo is right. He's more offensive than it is defense. But in that fight versus Jose, I mean, he honestly probably should have won that fight. He was controlling the wrestling positions in the second round until the very end, lost position, lost the round. Then in the third round, doing the exact same thing, winning the scrambles, winning the positions against a big, long dude in Jose, and then ended up losing the position, ended up losing that fight. But, you know, there is no doubt in my mind that Grigoriou is the better fighter. He's a well-rounded guy. He's got power in his hands. But this does feel like one of those fights. How many times have we seen? We saw Joanne Wood last week, where you had these savvy, tough, gritty veterans coming in against the well-rounded but kind of flashier younger guys. And Grigoriou isn't like a super young guy, 31 years old. It just feels like it could be one of those fights where Grigoriou is looking good, gets a takedown, gets the control, and all of a sudden it's mid-second round, and you're like, oh no. You know, and I think that's what people are seeing in the closing of the odds. I think the Chad plus 3.5 is like minus 150 or something like that. You know, I am going to go Grigoriou in this because he is the better fighter. He is the better fighter. But there's something about Chad in this fight that makes me pause a little bit as far as betting Grigoriou. But he's my pick. But I respect Chad and his toughness and his scrambling ability, honestly.
Well, and Chad almost has twice the experience. Literally, the takedown defense is what worries me the most. Just if Grigoriou gets in a little bit of trouble, he can come forward, get some takedowns, bail himself out of that trouble.
Even in the takedowns, he's got good scrambling abilities. Chad, he can get taken down, but on the ground,
his get-up game's impressive. Yeah,
he can get good scrambles. Well, scramble to position, not just to get it back to his feet. He's a good submission guy too.
Yeah, well, why don't you pick
Chad submission's like plus 800. I think that's like, well, I might be looking at that on the live streams. It's chopping season, baby.
A couple people in the chat talking about inside the distance decision, no action.
It's chopping season, baby.
Okay. $7,300 in DraftKings versus $8,900. Chad is a pretty durable guy. Jose Johnson's phenomenal. Chad's a pretty durable guy. $7,300 seems like could potentially be worth it if he gets something going on his own. His offensive wrestling is much better than his defensive wrestling. Grigoriou, $8,900. You're going to need a finish or a whole bunch of control time on the ground to be worth that money. I don't know if he's going to be worth that price tag. He's not the most dangerous guy in the world outside of those leg kicks. So if I have to pick a side here for my DraftKings lineup, I probably will go Chad. What do you think, Jakey boy?
I'm going to ask you this question, but I'm pretty sure I already know the answer to it. Have you ever chopped wood before in your life?
Of course.
When did you ever fucking chop wood?
I'm from fucking Connecticut. You don't think we chopped wood for the winter? What are you, out of your mind?
I don't know. I don't see you chopping wood.
I basically grew up like a farm kid.
You were kind of a rich kid, you know. You were in your little penthouse with your little Game Boy. And
okay.
Drinking Voss water.
We would drink my dad would get the Kirkland big bottled seltzer water. And I hated it forever. Oof. And now I love it.
There you go. Just told on yourself.
Now I love it. You can unlock all the picks, the bets, the round line leans, the tools, and more for only $10 a month. If you signed up last week for $2.99, you're good. Everything you got last week, you still have access to this week. If you didn't sign up last week, well, sign up this week. You'll get 4 events.
Sign up!
For $10. That's only $2.50 an event. WeWantPicks.com. Just click Become a Member at the top. Before you go, let me give you $50. Anybody who goes to WeWantPicks.com/bets and signs up with any one of our affiliate partners gets $50 as a thank you. Use the link, sign up, make a deposit. We send you $50 as a thank you.